welcome. If you've been looking for a new show to obsess over, you did it. You found me. One time for you. Yeah. Okay, guys, we have a great show for you today. We have The Simpsons. We have couples getting back together. Orlando Brown smoking crack. My name is Tefi. I am your host. This is a pop culture show where we talk shit about celebrities, and I give my opinion on it as if I know them. Why? Because that's not the slogan. I was gonna say that's showbiz. That is not what I say. Because there's no business like business that isn't mine. Okay, guys, so let's get into it. Yesterday, my boyfriend turned 57, and actually the biggest fight that we've gotten into recently is that I started telling people that he was a Hufflepuff, and he gets, having a grown man look at you, like grinding his teeth at you, going, I'm a Gryffindor, is like so great. What's that? I'm obviously a Slytherin, like please. Anyway, so we went to dinner with my boyfriend and our friends, right? And we went to a cute little Italian place, and I didn't drink any wine, just kidding. 2 bottles down the hatch. Killed it. What's that? Am I hungover? Mind your fucking business. But guys, I was feeling good, had a great time, and something has happened. Yeah, that has easily never happened before, okay? I was in bed, asleep, by 1 a.m., okay? Good girl hours, right? When I told Molly, right, to produce that, she was like, you did? I'm like, I did. I learned limitations. Okay, so I woke up for work, and like I woke up and I was like, oh, I feel a little nauseous because the Lord takes away the ability to drink after 28. Mm-hmm. So I was like, oh, I feel a little gross, but I can't like send that email saying like, guys, no show today. I feel sick, because everybody knows that I went out. And I hate when I see that email, or like when people see that now everybody that works here is gonna think I'm talking shit about them. But I hate when I hate thinking like, oh, they're just gonna think I'm hungover and I really don't feel well, So I go to work in the morning today. I was on time. And I'm doing my job. Okay, let me tell you, if any of my previous employers, there's a point to this, if any of my previous employers were to see this, come across this video, sweeties, I am so sorry, because I was never, how do you say, at work. So I was never like punctual. I always had like excuses, and like Molly today goes, Tefi. I'm like, what, Molly? She's like, Tefi. I'm like, what, Molly? She goes, it's crazy, because now when you say you're sick, I believe you. And I was like, I have never said anybody say that to me, like because I have had every emergency under the sun, you know what I mean? Like every family issue, every drama I can come up with. Like I remember in my last job, Molly was like, you know what, bitch, you're running out of grandparents. And like my poor grandfather, I love him so much. He passed away in March, but I have to say it, I really do. I must have killed that man 4 or 5 times in my last job. And like I'm telling everybody in the writer's room this story, and Kim is like, Kim Righty, not to be confused with any other Kim here, but she's like, why can't you just say family emergency? I'm like, but where's the spark? Where's the drama? Where's the theater? And that, you know what I mean? Like I always have to go like above and beyond, and nobody's asking me. You know what I mean? I'll be like, it was 3 a.m, and there he was, the intruder. He took nothing but my trust and my ability to sleep at night. So you see, Mr. Bossman, I can't possibly come in today for that meeting. You know what I mean? And like, or for example, this is a good example of the way that I handle things, right? Molly and I, we went to the plaza for Christmas one year because I decided to suppress that I had 25 cents in my bank account. And I was like, let's have an evening. Let's go to the plaza. Like what I should have done is gone to like Outback Steakhouse and asked my mom for money. But instead we went to the plaza and I rolled the dice, okay? And it was like $20 for a glass of wine. Like toilet water wine, like the cheapest thing. Like when you go down and you're pretending that you're looking at the names, but really you're just looking at the prices and you're like, show me that 7 and a dollar sign. Where the fuck is it? You know what I mean? So after that, I was like, oh, it seems we surpassed $19.75 of my limit. So I was like, oh, just, we're gonna get the check. And instead of being like, okay, bye, sir, I was like, because we have a Broadway play to go to. And Molly looks at me and she's like, it's 10 p.m. What fucking play are we gonna go to? And I was like, I just need him to know that when it declines, I want him to doubt it for a second because I have money, because I can afford Broadway tickets. So then I paid the check with Molly's dad's card. And then we got matching tattoos, you know what I mean? But I just wanna say, I am so proud of myself because usually what I would have done is emailed saying, you know, there's caca coming out of my ears. You know, I have 107-degree fever. Osmosis Jones is trying to fight the bad guy in my body. I can't possibly go to work today. But one time for growth. Yeah. Cheers to growth. Cheers. And being responsible, you know, and cheers to gossip, because if it wasn't for celebrities fucking up, I wouldn't have a job. So thank you to you guys, especially you, Miley. You really keep this show going, you know? Shall we get into the show?
Yes. Yeah.
Let's get into the show after this break. Okay, Cody Simpson says he has a big pipi. Okay, guys, so Cody Simpson did an interview with this Australian show called Kyle and Jackie O Show. Whatever. So they said this to him. A lot of the gay guys that work here on the show, and me, we're discussing celebrities we think are really well hung. Oh, God. And you came out on top as probably the guy that it would be hung like a donkey. First of all, why are you looking at donkey dick, sir? But anyway, then Cody says, yeah, mate, that's been the talk these days. Okay. Sure has been. And then he says, so the rumors are true then? And he goes, I'm kidding. Okay, if you've been watching the show, you're gonna look at me in the eyes and tell me this doesn't look like a sea monkey, you know? You know what I'm talking about? It doesn't look like a little fish to you? No, just me? Whatever. I had sea monkeys too, and I thought they were gonna like colonize and build Atlantis, and all they were speckles of dust that I had to watch over and over every day and watch them never. And on the box they were gonna get married and meet couples, and it was gonna be my universe, and they did nothing. But anyway, and it turns out they were shrimp. What kind of? Anyway, so he looks like a shrimp. Okay, so whatever. So I have to say it when he goes, I'm kidding. If you've been watching the show, you know when Lindsay Lohan was like, Andy, I pictured like, I'm kidding. So I don't think he has a big dick. Like, you know why we know Pete Davidson has a big dick? Because women tell us for him. You know what I mean? Like, women talk about it like they went through war. You know what I mean? Like, and then I didn't know what I was gonna do. Like, everybody get down! Like, that kind of shit, you know what I mean? Now, I think he doesn't. If he does, I don't think he knows what to do with it, okay? Because guys are not good in bed. You know what I mean? And you know what's, especially like, he's 23. 23-year-olds don't know how to fuck. You should see, I go on the internet and some men discuss between themselves if the clitoris exists. You're not good at sex. You know what I mean? And I've said it before and I'll say it again. And, you know, our cameraman, Stormy, he's 22. And one day we were all talking and Kim Righty and Molly Righty, producer, were like, 22-year-olds can't fuck. And Stormy goes, yeah, that's true. And I was like, awareness is everything. And, like, most grown men don't know how to fuck. And, like, please, you know what? I'm just going to say it now. I treat this vagina like enterprise. It's like car rental service, 26 and under, no go. Speaking of peepees that ruin your life. So, dating John Mayer made Jessica Simpson turn to alcohol. That's like a heavy title, okay? That's heavy. So, Jessica Simpson, she wrote a book, right? And it's a memoir called Open Book. And I've said it on the show. I love myself a memoir because it's firsthand, confirmed gossip in great grammar. What more do you want? You know what? So Open Book is basically this about her life, okay? And her life has always been just that. I mean, we met her when she was like 17. And does that make sense? Because she's 39. Does that make sense? Am I 52? Whatever. So, Jessica Simpson has gone through some shit, okay? Like, her life has always been a lot. Like, remember, her dad was a Christian pastor, and then he came out, you know what I mean? And she was this Christian virgin pop star, and the media was, like, obsessed with her virginity, And then she got married to Nick Lachey, and everybody had opinions about that marriage. And then she had the reality show, and everybody thought she was like this dumbass. And like, then she got divorced, and everybody had opinions about her divorce, And then it's crazy, right? And then the book, she opens up a lot about something that she's never shared before, that she was molested as a kid, and it's heartbreaking, someone that she trusts in the family. And she talks about like how, when she told her parents, her mom like looked at her dad and like slapped his arm and said like, I told you something was happening. And then it was never talked about again. So she had to like deal with that trauma. And I just get the feeling, I remember also with behind the scenes or like behind the music or something, she did a music video called like Impossible. I feel like it starts with an I, but in the video, they were talking about how like Jessica Simpson got down to like 103 pounds. And I remember that her mom and her sister were interviewed, and they remember her like crying because she's like, I can't lose any more weight. And they were like, your boobs are so big, you have to lose weight. And it's because like, as women, we know that like having big boobs can make you look top heavy, and the industry couldn't have it. She had to be as skinny as possible. And if you go, that's like her first hit ever. And if you go back and watch that fucking video, oh, and then remember when she did the chili festival, chili cook-off, and she was wearing that jean outfit, and everybody was like, what a fucking cow. Like, Jessica Simpson has probably never felt like her body was her own. You know what I mean? And she just wanted to be, it's like what we all think when we're little, like, oh, to be a pop star, how great, everybody loves you. And then it turns out that everybody just tears you to pieces, and like everything that you do and everything that you say and everything that you look like is scrutinized by the media, and then you never really belong to yourself again, right? And also like relationships in public, crazy, right? So in this interview with People magazine about her book, she opened up about her relationship with John Mayer, which I had completely forgot about. Completely, but that's like the first guy that she dated after her divorce with Nick Lachey. Do you guys remember Nick Lachey started dating Vanessa from TRL, and when Jessica Simpson went on TRL, Vanessa was out sick. I was like 13, and I was like, this is drama! Like, I loved it. I'm like, this is the shit I'm talking about, whatever. So, and then Vanessa was in Nick Lachey's video, and that's how they started dating. Oh, so crazy, whatever. But she opened up about John Mayer. And I want to tell you guys, too, that I, too, see that top lip. And I am choosing to ignore it. That's a hell of a top lip. But listen, she talks about her relationship with John Mayer, and she said that John Mayer made her feel sexy, but not smart. We have a quote from the book. The connection was so strong that he made me feel seductive, and he spoke about sex and my body in a way that made me feel powerful, at least physically, where I felt insecure in the beginning. Where insecure in the beginning was that I always felt like I was falling short of the potential he made me feel dumb. Okay, great. I'm reading behind me, Okay, so. that guy made you feel dumb. This looks like the person that ate John Mayer. Like, I understand that she is orange. I understand that, but it was like the time. But the way that John Mayer looks, iron deficient, is incredible. Okay, so what a time. So whatever. So I think that is probably like one of the worst feelings. Most people have felt this way, where you're dating somebody and you just like don't feel good enough for them in some way, like something is lacking, whatever. And that just sucks when the person who's making you feel dumb is like a peer or a boss or a friend, like a toxic friend, but it's like your significant other, you know? And what kills me is that I know that Jessica isn't stupid. You know what I mean? But she made that her brand. She made that her, like, chicken of the sea. We all know that scene from her reality show. What was it? Newlyweds. We all know that scene. Is it chicken or is it tuna? It's chicken. No, I'm just kidding. But like in the reality show, she was always the idiot. And remember her boobs with golf? She was like, I have big boobs and I'm stupid and I'm blonde and I'm hot. And then the show was literally edited for her to be this like dumbass. But it made her a shit ton of money. And now she gets divorced in front of the whole world after letting them in her house. You know, and the first guy that she dates is John Mayer, and this guy who's like, she feels is actually smarter than her, and she has to prove that you're smart, or to like always be kind of prepared with this witty comment in your holster. You know what I mean? Is fucking exhausting. Like thinking about having to prove to someone that I'm smart makes me want to take a nap. Absolutely, I can't do it. You know, but I think dating after your divorce is hard too. You know, so whatever. She also says this in the memoir. When I tried to leap back in and say something to add to the dialogue he was having with himself, he would challenge what I said and I'd get quiet. I was so afraid of disappointing him that I couldn't even text him without having someone check my grammar and my spelling. Okay, immediately you're putting John Mayer on this fucking pedestal, and I will never understand. Like, looks like Beetlejuice. I can't. And, you know, she was blonde, she went brunette, she wanted to shed her dumb blonde. Oh my God, he looks like a mom in Westchester picking me up from soccer practice. So whatever. Look at me in the face right now, and you're gonna tell me that's not Mr. Munster? Okay, bitch. Okay, bitch. You know, but, and John Mayer is known as this like mega talent. I mean, I've seen him live. And Katy Perry came out to sing that song with him, and I cried. But I've seen him, and he's like so talented. He like lays the guitar down, and he like finger fucks it. It's crazy. He sings Gravity, and I'm like, why am I naked? You know, like I get it. And he has that show on Sundays, and like if you follow him on social media, he's witty, he's funny, whatever. But let me tell you this: what I first was gonna say is that a confident man would never make his girlfriend feel small. Like, you know, like that's like your first instinct to say that. But then another part of me is like, Jessica, you are fine as fuck. You know what I mean? You are talented. You can sing your ass off. And both of you make those horrendous faces when you sing. Oh my God. You know what? After the show, YouTube Jewel and Jessica Simpson singing together. And it just drives me crazy because they're hitting the same notes. And Jewel's face is like, and Jessica's like great. I'm like, oh my God, she's seizuring. Like, what's going on? She's in pain, you know? Like, but I wish Jessica could go back. I wish she could go back. That top lip is active as hell. But I wish Jessica could go back, you know what I mean? And just be like, fuck it. This was a time where Jessica Simpson was more famous than Kim Kardashian. Like, Jessica Simpson was everywhere. I wish she could go back and be like, fuck it, I'm not gonna Google any of his references. And if I spell license wrong, I spell license wrong. We all fucking do it. You think I don't say Wednesday? Of course I do. We all do. You know what I mean? Like, listen, if you get anything from this show, I want you to know that there's nobody too good for you, nobody that is above you, except if we have dated and you're my ex-boyfriend. Then I am too good for you, sweetheart. But listen, there's nobody that's like, oh my God, I'm not good enough for him. Like, that doesn't exist. I promise you, if you're ever in a situation where you feel intimidated or like you feel uncomfortable around a guy, just fucking say it. Just say, you know what, sometimes when I'm talking to you, I feel like I can't keep up and we're playing like ping pong. I feel like I'm fucking stupid sometimes. Do you ever feel like that? And sometimes everyone enjoys a funny moment, but what people are really looking for in life, and this is what in my 29 years in life, maybe in 10 years I'll look back and be like, Tefi, you're such a fucking idiot. But like, I think what people are really looking for, especially the significant other, is just being able to be a vulnerable human being, you know what I mean? And be honest with each other and talk about the things that, you know, keep you up at night, or the things that you think, that mean voice in your head, and just get that reassurance back. Because it seems like this whole relationship with John Mayer was just proving to yourself that you were good enough to be loved. It's what that sounds like to me. And in the memoir, she says that this is what drove her to drink. Her anxiety of dating John Mayer drove her to drink. Okay, one, I think it's obvious. If you are dating someone who literally drives you to drink, please do not date that person, you know what I mean? And I don't want to say, like, Jessica, it's your fault, because I feel like saying, Jessica, the reason that you were driving to drink is because you had just gotten out of a divorce. You were pulled apart in the media, and you wanted someone to tell you, hey, you're more than your body, and I value your mind. That's what you were looking for. And I think it's unfair to say John Mayer drove me to drink. You drove yourself to drink. You drove yourself to drink, and you poured it all into a person. You let one person in this vulnerable time in your life dictate whether or not you are lovable. That is what happened. You know what I mean? And there is power in claiming your own shit, I think. That's what I want to say. I don't want to say this and say, Jessica, that's unfair of you to say John Mayer drove you to drink. What I'm trying to say is, Jessica, own your shit, because that's powerful. And that's healing, I think. You know what I mean? And people are also not mind readers, you know? At first I was gonna say men are not mind readers, but people are not mind readers, you know? So if all you guys are doing are fucking and having banter, how the fuck is somebody supposed to know that what you're trying to do is prove yourself to him? Or that you wanna hear something about a mental connection versus a physical. And then I think what's really fucked up is that he went on Playboy and talked about how she was like sexual napalm and she was embarrassed, you know? But listen, in the book, Jessica Simpson says that when John Mayer, when they first met, he said he wanted all of me or nothing. Molly Ryder Producer and I read that and we were like, if somebody said that to me, I'd be like, I too am an open book. You know what I mean? And just sex when the sex is really, really fucking good, and like that cloud that you're on when you first connect with somebody and you hope like maybe this is the one. I do think she's like a true romantic, you know what I mean? And you know what, sweetheart? We've said it once on the show, and we're gonna say it again. Good dick will imprison you. It will imprison you. The mind is a prison that locks from the inside, but good dick is bolted from the outside. You know what I mean? So, Jessica, you have done so well. You've overcome so much, you know? You're happily married. You have your beautiful kids. She's sober now. She's coming out with a memoir. I'm super here for it, super proud. I love watching the evolution of somebody, you know, unfortunately. I hate that, like, being famous for these pop stars in the 2000s was, like, fucking jail. Like, I had no idea when I was when we're kids, you think being a pop star is, like, the ultimate dream. You know what I mean? Like, I would love to be Britney Spears. And I look back and I'm like, I'm so glad I'm not Britney Spears, you know? But I think that there's also something for people to hear about relationships. There is working through tough times with somebody, and then there's beating a dead horse. There is no, wait, hold on. Please don't beat horses. The whole thing could have been avoided, I think, in my professional opinion. This whole scenario with Jessica and John Mayer wouldn't be in history if someone in that relationship had just consulted the science. Let's look at it. Jessica Simpson, you are a Cancer. I am a Cancer. I see you. I know you. John Mayer is not only a Libra sun, but a moon in Sagittarius. That person doesn't need therapy. He needs an exorcism. What are you doing? Unbelievable. Okay. If you're a Sagittarius or a Libra, please stay. We'll be right back after the break. Orlando Brown's bold claim that Nick Cannon sucked his dick. So, oh God, what a time to be alive. You know? Okay, so Orlando Brown took a video of himself saying that Nick Cannon performed fellatio on him. So, and we all know that Orlando Brown is not doing too hot, you know, and Nick Cannon took to Instagram to respond to the allegation that he sucked Orlando Brown's dick. I can't stop saying it, okay? And guys, I never thought I'd say this, but I think what Nick Cannon said as in response to the claims was really smart and really touching and human and empowering. Okay, let's look at Nick Cannon's caption. Let's start from the beginning. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Right, so this is what he posted. I'm just gonna read the first line and some tidbits. Stay with me. Nick Cannon, when I first saw this, I thought it was fucking hilarious, okay? And then he goes on to say this part. But this is another crucial example of when we allow our younger artists to be prematurely exposed by this demonic business and left out to fend for themselves. We need better support systems for our youth and take care of our own, okay? The wisdom, right? Like, we need to we're a community, we need to support one another. Beautiful. Next. This actually hurts my heart to see that we have allowed Orlando, along with various other young gifted performers we grew up loving. I can't help but think also he's talking about Amanda Bynes, you know? Because she's all that. Like, do you remember the Amanda Bynes show? She was a one-woman show doing 17 characters a day, and they just ran her into the ground like Buster in Animal Farm. She reads. Okay. So he says, along with various other gifted performers we grew up loving, to just dwindle away after these corporations made their billions off of them. Okay, so this whole caption is full of like gold little nuggets. But I was like, what is something we can do to translate, condense? And that's right, we saw the opportunity for Tiffany's. So let's put it into the machine, let it download, let a bitch get a sip of water. Hold on. Jesus. What's the translation? Orlando Brown needs help, and I may or may not have sucked his dick. I appreciate that he took the moment to be serious. You know what I mean? Like, instead of being like, what a fucking loser, you fucking crackhead, you know, because he literally smokes crack. But he's like, I didn't suck his dick, he's a fucking liar, you know? Maybe he should have said that part. But I did a little investigative journalism, okay? And he didn't even have to address this. Like, he didn't have to. I like that he did not address the dick sucking and instead made it a conversation about mental health, is what I'm trying to communicate. But the alcohol that I consumed yesterday perhaps is not allowing me to. Okay. So I think I love wilding out, just like you kids. But like, I love that show, whatever, but I've always found like Nick Cannon was a little annoying to me, you know? And like he's like loud and spazzy or whatever. And I think he's actually been fooling us. I think that's actually been kind of like a persona, just like we were talking about in Jessica Simpson, kind of like, look, that's my brand and I'm running with it, you know? But I forget that Nick Cannon is a father. I forget he married Mariah Carey, and I forget that he got Mariah Carey tattooed on his back with a butterfly in his whole back. The whole thing. And I always forget that he's a dad to two twins, right? And you know what? He sounds like in that caption, he sounds like a dad you go to when you need peace of mind or when you need perspective, you know? And I'm just gonna say it. He's giving me a lot of unexpected Tom Hanks energy, which I did not expect. Like, Nick Cannon, I would like you to hug me, you know? And I think he's very intelligent, and I think that versus his character of being like a jokester, I think he's really smart and aware, similar to American icon and legend, Paris Hilton. That bitch is smart and an Aquarius. Her birthday's coming up. Mark your calendars. Okay, guys. So, anyway, that's hot, Paris Hilton. And so are these two. Jessie J is back. Is that not genius for Channing Tatum and Jessie J? Jessie J, come on. Come on, that's great writing. Okay, guys, so a source says, Jessie has been staying at Channing's house this past week, and they've been super giddy around each other. So they had broken up, and now they're hanging out, and it's being said that they miss each other. You know, my mom always used to tell me, you gotta give him an opportunity to miss you. And I was like, no, I think I'm gonna text him one more time. But you know, they missed each other over the holiday break, so they're back together. Like, I can't believe a break actually worked. You know, like usually I'm like, dude, just say you want to fuck other people and go on with your day. You know what I mean? Because when someone says a break, you're like, oh, so you'll text me later? And I'm like, no. And I'm like, so that's not a break, you know? But one time for love. Yeah. And listen, I have one comment that has nothing to do with this story, but I have one comment that I look on Jessie J's Instagram, and it takes an incredibly cruel person to comment under a woman's social media that they are the uglier version of her current boyfriend's ex-wife. That is so fucking mean. Like, I read that and I'm just like, wow, people are really out here just being trash. It's like crazy to me, you know? And I love love, and I hate breaks, but you and I gotta do it. I'll see you in a second. I don't have to throw up. Who told you that? Listen, we've gotten to my favorite part of the show. This is where I get to bond with you a little bit. Was this like a therapy episode, you think? Was this like oh my God, guys, we're closer than ever. Okay, so we like to call this Taffy's tip. Just the tip. It's never just the tip. Okay, guys, so speaking from experience, you know, and I feel like everybody needs to hear it. When you wake up the next day after drinking, I call this drunk shame. And you go, oh my God, why did I say that? Why did I do that? Why did I fuck him? Why did I fuck her? Why didn't I fuck her? Why didn't I fuck him? You know what I mean? Like, whatever it is. For me, it's usually like, why the fuck did I say that to that person? That's my drunk shame that I usually have to deal with. It is so universal. I remember the moment I realized, I was like, there's nothing to be embarrassed about. Everybody feels this way. I was talking to my mom about something, and she had gone out the night before, and I didn't start the convo. She did. I didn't interrupt, and I remember she looked at me and she goes, and last night I drank, and I said something to someone, and I go, oh, and I thought this morning, like, why did I say that? And I'm like, oh my God, everybody feels this way. So if you wake up and you have that cringe, just let it go, because you know what? The person that you're worried that you said something to, like that you embarrass yourself, that person you were talking to is probably feeling the exact same fucking way, you know? Like maybe you did something embarrassing and you just like can't live with it. Like, I don't know, maybe you were at an event last night with Molly Righty Producy, and you're another righty on the show. We'll call you Fim. And I don't know, maybe you saw Snoop Dogg in the crowd, and I don't know, maybe you ran to him like a thief in the night, like a feral animal let off a leash. And I don't know, maybe you decided to take a pic with said Snoop Dogg and it came out like this. Do you see Kimberly's eyes? The chaotic energy in this? She was like this. Go, 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 go. You know, but this is weird, but can you throw me my phone? My bad. I left that bitch on the charger. So. I'm so scared to throw it. Oh, God. Okay. Yes. Guys, if you see a celebrity and you have a minimal amount of time, like Kimberly thought she did, this is what you do. You take a video instead, and this is what you're going to do, okay? You are going to open your camera. If you have a droid, I don't know what to tell you. But listen, you're going to go to video. You're going to press red, and see this little white button right here? That takes pictures of your video that you can use later. In the industry, we call those stills. All right. Guys, that is our show. Okay, thank you for coming. Thank you for viewing. Thank you for being on the live chat. It makes my day. Molly can hardly keep up with it, but we feel like we know everybody, you know, especially you, Jessica. Okay, so guys, have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same place. Get out of here, get. An open book.